Welcome to Don't Chuck It Up, the podcast where we help students and families navigate the wild journey of the college search and applying to colleges without breaking a sweat. I'm your host, Chuck, and today we are talking with Greg King, the Interim Associate Vice President for Recruitment Strategy at Ripon College, located in Ripon, Wisconsin. Welcome to the podcast, Greg.
Thanks so much, Chuck. Great to be with you today.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to chat with myself and all of my listeners, both on the podcast and on the YouTube channel. So let's first start off with a little bit so who are you? Who's Greg King? What are you all about?
Well, thanks, Chuck. I've been in higher education admissions since 2008. I've seen a number of higher education models. Over the last few years, I've worked on the private side and the public side, really have found an affinity for the small, private liberal arts educational experience. And the last few years, I've been in Illinois and now into Wisconsin at Ripon College, and I've really loved my time on campus.
Well, welcome to Wisconsin. You have survived the winter. We're recording this in March of 2025, and it is a beautiful sunny day here in Wisconsin. The snow is nearly all gone. So congratulations, you've made it through your first Wisconsin winter. So you're currently working at Ripon College, one of my favorite small liberal arts colleges located here in the state of Wisconsin. Tell us a little bit about Ripon. What should our listeners know about Ripon College?
Yeah, Ripon College is fantastic college. Ripon, the town, is impressive. Mm-hmm. 8,000 people in the community. Downtown is right on the edge of campus. It's the town-gown relationship and the support from the town to the college is fantastic. It didn't take me long at all to really fall in love with the town and the college campus. 800 total students approximately at Ripon. It's such an individualized, supportive experience. Average class size around 16, 17. Faculty and staff across campus are going to know you by name. There isn't a place you can go where you can't get help. And I needed that personally as a student many years ago, and it's great to see our students benefit from that support, and you don't sacrifice opportunities at a place like Ripon. Small doesn't mean that we lack an opportunity. I see our graduates all over the country doing amazing things, mm-hmm. and I talk to our students that are finishing phenomenal internships and opportunities for research. And gosh, yeah, it's been a great place to connect, and I'm excited that we're having a fantastic year in admissions. I think a lot of students across the state and across the Midwest are seeing the things that I'm seeing, that there are a great number of opportunities at Ripon College.
Yeah, I think Ripon is a great opportunity for students who really want to get that personal, really focused educational experience where you get to collaborate with students, have that interaction with faculty, access to research, being able to compete at D3 athletic sports, being able to really be involved in a smaller town. I know for many students, there's the worry of, well, Ripon might be smaller than my high school, and some students view that as a negative. I always seem to view that as a positive, because as students ask me what helps them prepare best for graduate school and the professional world, a lot of graduate schools want to see, have you done research? Have you worked with faculty? And Ripon, being a completely undergraduate environment, really allows for students to get those experiences in the classroom. And by being in a small town, they are in a safe location. They're able to really be in a place that cares for them. So Ripon is located kind of in east central Wisconsin. It is south of Green Bay by about 45 minutes, and it is north of Milwaukee, probably about, an hour north of Milwaukee or so?
Yeah, so just over an hour.
You have access to bigger cities. I'm in Appleton, which is literally, 20 minutes up the road from Ripon. So if students need to get to a little bit bigger city on the weekend, they can. But it really gives them a place to focus and be connected to their education at Ripon College. So yeah, that's why I really love it. The general education requirements are also very different at Ripon. There's a different layout as to how students complete those. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that works for Ripon students?
Absolutely. In my 17 years in higher ed now, I have never seen a general education curriculum set up like the Catalyst curriculum at Ripon College. I've typically seen, 13, 14, 15 courses
Right.
for general ed that are laid out in specific ways that allow you to layer that throughout your 4-year experience. At Ripon, our general education curriculum, the Catalyst curriculum, is 5 classes. You get to jump into your major in your first semester, and our students have the opportunity to double major. I talked to a student last week that has a double major with 2 minors, and they're all over the place. The students are working with faculty to know how it all connects for them. But I'll see English with marketing, with psychology, and you think, well, how is all that connected? Well, this student is going to be one of the best marketers that you and I would ever meet, because
Right.
they can communicate well, they can solve problems, they understand the mind, and the Ripon Catalyst curriculum, it truly is a catalyst. It kickstarts this experiment of their 4 years and creates something truly special. So I love what that does for our students. It's a very transfer in friendly curriculum. We've seen a number of students that are starting at a 2-year, and they're able to transfer in easily because our gen ed is pretty seamless in that regard. But what I've also seen in the Catalyst curriculum is you're working with students right out of the gate, and employers love that you know how to work in a team. You know how to build camaraderie. You know how to take a project with 3 or 4 minds and solve it in an efficient way, and present back about those things that you've learned in the takeaway. So it's a very engaged curriculum, and because our advising is built in such a way that allows for a conversation throughout the semester, it really helps students max out the opportunities, jump into their major quickly. They're ready for internships quicker because they're in their major quicker. So yeah, I've seen some pretty great outcomes in my time at Ripon, and the Catalyst curriculum is a big part of that.
I can't agree more. And I also really think that students and families will appreciate this idea that you're not requiring students to take a bunch of courses that they may never ever see the need for in the future, where a lot of high school students complain about their high school curriculum, saying, oh, I have to take all these random English and math and science and social science classes. And the Catalyst program allows for students to still work across the curriculum and explore the various majors without having to be locked in to certain courses in order to complete certain things. I think that's why you're seeing a lot of Ripon students being able to multi-major, multi-minor. They don't have to declare a major right away, so it also allows them to explore if they need to. They can dive in right away if they're ready to, but as you're well aware, the teenage mind is not always quite set in stone at age 18 or 19, so they may need some time to be able to explore that. And by having the small community and the very interactive community of Ripon, it allows them to really kind of meld between the fields and see what sticks and see what they really enjoy, and still graduate in 4 years. They're not going to be spending a bunch of extra time having to complete gen eds as well as majors within that 4-year time period.
Yeah, absolutely, Chuck. And we saw the 4-year graduation success across the board, and actually have added a 4-year graduation guarantee, that if you do your part and you haven't graduated in 4 years, we're gonna take care of the costs on those classes in that ninth semester.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, 4 years with the flexibility of the curriculum and the advising and the support, you're out in 4, and we guarantee it.
Yeah. And I also love that you really have some amazing facilities that are available for students. So I think there's this perception of, if it's a small liberal arts college that I haven't heard of, they're probably really outdated and, things are over 100 years old. But Ripon really in the last few years here has really gone in and said, nope, we're going to have the best facilities we can provide for our students, both on the academic side as well as on the co-curricular, extracurricular side. I've heard about this new science center. So what is this new science center all about?
Yeah, the Franzine Science Center opened this fall. Physics, biology, chemistry, and engineering. We're in our second year of an engineering program, engineering major, and that space is fantastic. The students, even when they're not in class, they're hanging out in the science center. There's some great study space, and actually this summer, students that aren't from Ripon are going to come to Ripon to study, to do research. Just state-of-the-art facilities. We're just finishing a very successful fundraising campaign. The alumni and friends of the university are making sure that Ripon College students have access to absolutely everything that they need. So the Franzine Science Center, state-of-the-art. We're definitely encouraging families to make a visit to Ripon, and if you're interested in the sciences, we want to spend some time in there with you and our professors and our current students, so you can see everything that sets us apart there.
Yeah, and obviously, in addition to the sciences, you also have the various business programs, social sciences, humanities, and the fine and performing arts. So you really are still a traditional liberal arts college in the sense that you are offering all of the various areas of study so that students can really enjoy the life of the mind and explore a wide range of academic interests, again, on a smaller student body. But the campus itself is actually quite large. You're not like crammed into one little block or two little blocks in Ripon. You cover some serious acreage for a campus.
Sure do. My first few days on campus was a lot of exploring, and even someone that spent some time on the public side at campuses with larger populations. Ripon's campus, it's the perfect combination of wide open, but not too far of a walk to the things that you need. So
right.
Heading down to the athletic end of campus and where the Rodman Center for the Arts, down by the Prairie. It's just beautiful. We're absolutely blessed with a great spot. And you mentioned earlier, families love that Ripon is a safe place and a great place to learn and live. Was reading in a recent publication, our athletic facilities anchored by the Wilmore Center and now Hop Stadium on campus, in the top 10 of all Division III schools nationally. And all of our students benefit from the Wilmore Center, just a fantastic exercise center and fitness facilities, pool that we all get to benefit from. So yeah, it's a well-rounded place with a lot of people that care for the whole person, and not just their own discipline. No matter what you're studying, you get, because of the curriculum, you're going to get opportunities across a number of different fields and get to meet some great professors and support staff along the way.
Yeah, the athletic facility, I actually was one of the first people to get inside of that space when it first opened. They had just stopped doing the hard hat, so I was one of the first people to get in there without a hard hat.
Nice.
A friend of mine had been working at Ripon and said, "Hey, Chuck, you need to come and check this place out." So I said, "Sure, let's go." And for a small college to have such an incredible facility where athletes can train, and also for coaches to analyze athletes and help with recovery and injury prevention. And you really have both the athletic facilities for wellness and health and club sports, but also you have classroom spaces where faculty can help students who are interested in things like kinesiology or exercise science so they can get that hands-on experience. I also thought it was really interesting that this facility was partially funded through a grant through the USDA in order to increase access to facilities in small rural areas. So I don't know if there's many other colleges that can say that they've got a USDA grant to help fund an athletic facility, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
And I see us making good on that every day. When I'm on campus, I'll see the community, walking from their car to get a workout or a swim in, and that community engagement is fantastic. I was talking with a student 2 weeks ago. They met someone who was coming in for a workout, and it turned into a part-time job, which turned into an internship. The connections are just all over the place. And you mentioned exercise science. So we're in our second year of a master's degree in exercise science. Now we have a 4+1 for exercise science, and that the demand on that is off the chart. So we're gonna have about 100 applications this year for the 4+1. But that's very selective. So
Right.
We'll have our top tier of admits that are approved into the 4+1, and it's great to see those students engaging in the Wilmore Center, getting hands-on experience with our student athletes very early in their college career, and of course, as you can imagine, that space has everything that the student will need to be ready for our grad program, or a number heading on to medical school.
Yes.
From our sciences and exercise science. I just found this out the other day. The Dallas Stars president is an exercise science grad from Ripon College. So I'm now a Dallas Stars hockey fan.
Well, one of my former students used to work for the Dallas Stars, so I'm also a Dallas Stars fan for various different reasons. I also
Nice.
love that the Athletic Center is literally across the way from the Performing Arts Center, so you have close proximity between athletics and the arts. I feel like on some college campuses, those spaces can be very far apart and really don't have a whole lot of interaction. But the fact that students from the fine and performing arts can come over and work out and do wellness classes or whatever they are wanting to do to keep themselves physically in shape is great. And now with the opening of the new Hop Stadium, that is really there to provide support for football. I know Ripon has over 100 years worth of football history, and then that's also providing a space for soccer. And then anything additional?
That's right. Men's and women's soccer had solid fall seasons along with football. We are now in our first year of recruiting for women's flag football.
Oh,
We are searching for the first head coach right now. So just made that announcement, and of course you've seen throughout the country, and especially in Illinois and starting to creep into Wisconsin, some big time interest for women's flag football. And of course, having the Green Bay Packers so close, that's great for all of us. So we've seen a ton of resumes come in for that position. So we're excited for that search, and excited to create that opportunity for our women on campus.
what are some of the other sports that you think are really great opportunities for students at Ripon? I know that athletics play a large role on the student body and how a lot of students stay involved at Ripon. So we got football,
Yeah.
women's soccer, women's flag football coming up. What else is out there?
Men's and women's basketball just finished up great seasons. Our women went to the first round of the NCAA National Tournament Division III. They had a great season. Track and field, they're finishing up their indoor season right now, and we'll kick into the outdoor soon. I think the last 5 years they've won 4 conference tournaments, conference championships. Just great great reputation there. And you've seen the field house of the Wilmore Center. You know, we have a lot of high school meets that want to use that space, and that's how a lot of students get to know us. They come to Ripon for a high school meet. Men's and women's swimming, great opportunity at Ripon. Men's baseball, women's softball, they're going right now. Those first few games for softball and baseball are interesting in our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I was a baseballer back in the day. I didn't like pitching in February, but our kids are tough. And let's see, cross country. They're building a great roster. So tons of opportunities on the athletic side. And you mentioned the arts, the Rodman Center for the Arts, and yeah, I've seen that collaboration between the arts and athletics. If you come to a football game or basketball game, you're gonna hear our pep band. They create a great atmosphere. For us, you don't have to be a music major to participate in the bands or some of our choral activities. But we also, have fantastic partnerships with the Milwaukee Symphony. The Milwaukee Jazz Symphony was on campus just a few weeks ago. The work of the arts is fantastic, and I love Ripon's commitment to it. I see a lot of community engagement there, and our students, whether they major in music or not, they get to benefit from all of that, from visual art to music and all of it. So it's great for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is why I love the small liberal arts environment. For many students, when they're applying to colleges that are kind of the household name colleges that we all see on ESPN and whatnot, there's a lot of competition to get into athletics or to get into the arts. And I think students who were very engaged in those areas in high school go, well, I can't go D1, so I'm just not going to play or I'm not going to perform. And I constantly remind students and families there are opportunities, especially in the D3 world, where you can be a student athlete and you really are a student first. Your academics are paramount to your success in college, but then you also get to play sports at a college that has an athletic history of over 100 years. So this is a long record of being able to be a great place for students who are both interested in academics and athletics. And then, of course, the arts, Ripon having that opportunity for students to be able to be involved in the arts and not have to major in it. They can, but it's not a requirement in order to utilize those facilities and be a participant in the fine and performing arts, which is always great for students.
I agree. I talk with a lot of students, and they want to continue in their music, or they want to continue in their art creation, but they're not sure they want to major. And right. So, there are a lot of schools that aren't interested in you if you aren't interested in majoring.
Right.
Well, we're absolutely interested in helping you where you are and meeting you there. The neat thing for me is watching how that turns into maybe an art minor or a music minor, or a double major. It's really special. And, to be in an environment where you aren't so narrowly focused, that just benefits us for life.
Yeah.
And I get to see it every day.
Yeah. So you can be at Ripon and you can be a biology major, you can play on the football team, and you can still sing in choir, and it all can still happen for you. Where at a larger college experience, those things are going to be so separate and so disjointed that it's very difficult for a student to be able to be highly committed in academics, athletics, and the arts. Where at a place like Ripon, because of its close small class sizes and proximity to faculty, students really can engage in all of those areas. And again, as you mentioned, graduate in 4 years, which is a great way to be able to make sure that college remains affordable. Before we dive into some of the updates about Ripon's commitment to making college affordable, let's talk about the Ripon student body. Where do students come from to attend Ripon? Are they all from Wisconsin?
70% of our students are from Wisconsin. And you mentioned earlier that just the access with with Ripon. So just south of Green Bay and just over an hour from Madison and over an hour from Milwaukee, you have the three largest cities in Wisconsin, and we're right in the middle of them. So 70% of our students are from Wisconsin, and 30% throughout the country, and really throughout the country. I'm seeing applications from California, Hawaii, Arizona. I met a student from Hawaii last month. She spoke at an admissions event for us. Florida, South Carolina, Maine, and then a number of international students as well. So it's a very diverse campus. Even though a lot of our students are from Wisconsin, yeah, we're all over the place.
So as far as when students are applying, they're applying via the Common App because Ripon is a Common App college, and they're obviously submitting in their transcript. What else do students and parents need to submit to complete an application to Ripon? Do you require the ACT or SAT? What else is needed?
We are a test optional school, proudly. We want every student to put their best foot forward. So if they feel like the ACT or SAT could help in their review or scholarship, then we'll absolutely review it. But it truly is that transcript that's the biggest predictor for us. And all schools, we want to make sure that students are ready for our experience, and for us at Ripon, the biggest predictor would be, how have you done in your high school coursework, and have you chosen to take some challenge?
Yeah.
And we love to see that. We have the opportunity for a personal statement or essay. We love to learn about our students. The more that you can tell us, the more things that we can help find and match for scholarships. So put it all out there. It can only help. You also have the opportunity to ask a school counselor or a teacher or coach for a reference, personal reference that can also help you in your application process. And yes, as you mentioned, Common App School. So it's just a couple of clicks for us. And our applications right now, I can't find a year where we've had more applications from the state of Wisconsin. So that's exciting for my work and the admissions team.
I will say that we are seeing a surge, or at least I'm seeing a surge with my students, that in this post-COVID world, we're finding students are staying a bit closer to home. So I am seeing more of that. But I really do think places like Ripon are a great opportunity for students who want to venture out and go farther away from home, providing that safe landing spot, a place that you can really get involved and get your feet wet and your hands dirty in college, and be in and out in 4 years, and knowing that you're getting a great education and co-curricular experience at a place like Ripon. So the other part that I love about Ripon also is that you don't need to be a 4.0 in order to get admitted. I've sent students to apply to Ripon over the years that have a wide variety of academic backgrounds. Maybe they struggled their, 9th grade and 10th grade years, but, during 11th and 12th, they've gotten it together a bit better, or maybe they've had some bumps in the road in their academic road, and they need a college that's going to understand that, yes, they have the capability to do better, and they have the capability of doing college work, and they need a place like Ripon who's going to be able to support them holistically and become a successful human being. We can't expect students to be 100% perfect academically ready to go to college for every student. That's just not feasible. So those are things I like about Ripon. I also love that my students can meet with an admissions counselor at Ripon and get a really personalized one-on-one chat, conversation, connection, so that Ripon can understand more about the student, and the student can learn more about the opportunities at Ripon.
I totally agree. It is great to meet in this world that is so virtual, right, to meet one-on-one with an admissions counselor and professors in your field of study. Our director of admission, John Ingeman, is a Ripon College graduate. He he has built a fantastic admissions visit experience, and we create a lot of engagement with our current students. So when you come visit Ripon, you really are going to see what a day in the life is like. And you're right, Chuck. When we look at an application or transcript, I want to see that work ethic is there. I want to see, that if there's been challenge, that you're working to overcome. And you're right, there's bumps in the road, and especially coming out of COVID, there were a lot of tough semesters, and our admissions team can read between the lines and see that students are working hard. And that's really where we benefit from school counselors and teachers writing on the behalf of applicants, because they know these applicants so well, and we trust our school counselors that if they say you need to take a chance here, we are excited to do it. And all it takes is someone willing to work. When you put them in the environment that Ripon creates, they're going to be supported. They're going to be heard, and it creates something special. So I agree, and I love to see it. Students that really blossom. It's special to be a part of.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for Ripon and all those opportunities you're providing for students and families. So I think one thing that really shies some students and families away from a small liberal arts college experience is the cost. They see that really large number on the website, and I've had students and families, in fact, I was just on a social media live stream last night, and students was saying, I can't apply to a small liberal arts college because I'm never going to be able to afford that. I have to go to a public institution in my home state. And I think that Ripon is doing some amazing work to help make that college experience and that college education affordable for families. So talk to me about what Ripon is doing, especially for students and families living here in Wisconsin.
Yes. So I mentioned earlier that we just completed a very successful fundraising campaign, and one of the areas that we wanted to raise was student scholarships to make this possible. And you hit it exactly. Students will see a sticker prize at Ripon or another private institution, and they won't even engage in the process. So we've created price transparency. I'm going to read you right off the website. If your household adjusted gross income AGI is $75,000 or less, and you file the FAFSA in the state of and you're from the state of Wisconsin, tuition and fees will be free for all Wisconsin families with an AGI of $75,000 or less. And then if you're over 75, we guarantee that you will not pay more than tuition that's posted at UW-Madison. So for the state of Wisconsin, our families and students, we've taken the guessing game out of it. Now, we also have some higher achieving students whose academic scholarship puts them in an even better spot than the Ripon commitment would. Yeah, and that has been great for our applicant pool this year. Hundreds more applications from the state of Wisconsin than years past. So I know our marketing team and admissions team did a great job in getting school counselors in the know. And it's such a crowded space. Our school counselors are doing the jobs of 2 and 3 people all by themselves.
Right.
So you just try to say it and say it and say it and build it on a poster and hang it up in the right spot. And it's gotten good traction. We're excited.
Yeah, and kudos to Ripon for coming up with the Ripon commitment and being able to help that. To remind people listening that it is an AGI of an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less, and therefore Ripon will cover tuition and fees. I want to be very transparent to say that is not including room and board. So
That's
families
right.
still have to understand that there is going to be a cost for room and board, that can be really supported through work study, summer employment, other ways of that, outside scholarships. There are other ways to make that even more affordable. But the fact that Ripon is really committing to families that are coming from a lower income area to say that you don't have to worry about tuition and fees. Now we just have to help you pay for room and board. And regardless of the college that you're going to, room and board is almost always a factor, unless you're living from home and commuting. But for most students going off to college, room and board is essentially around the same number, especially here in the Midwest. If you go into some more expensive cities, it might be higher. But that's just something that all families are going to have to figure out, is room and board. But the fact that Ripon's already taking the tuition and fees off the table for that particular group of families is really, really helpful.
I agree. Absolute game changer. Our applications have shown it, and our committed students right now, our deposited students right now, we're up 50%
Nice.
over last year. And the Ripon commitment, we really feel, is the catalyst, not to borrow from our common core curriculum.
That's fine.
It's been a catalyst for us. So yeah, the free tuition for 75 and less, and then the guaranteed price match if you're over 75. And then we'll help you complete the FAFSA.
Mm-hmm.
You'll work one-on-one with our financial aid office, who's fantastic, to find, okay, how do we cover that gap of room and board?
Mm-hmm.
You have $5,500 of federal student loan eligibility. Then we can work to help you on the outside scholarship end.
Yep.
We have a number of named scholarships that are application after the fact that we're helping students match through generous alumni.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a very individualized process that we're well practiced in walking families through.
Yeah, and for those who are saying, well, Chuck, I don't live in Wisconsin, is Ripon still affordable? Absolutely. And I always tell students and families, if you're worried about, okay, I'm not interested in going to a college in Wisconsin, there's probably a college similar to Ripon in your own state that is doing a similar initiative where they're trying to make it affordable for low-income families, possibly first-generation families. So what Greg and I are talking about Ripon is also very true for other small liberal arts colleges in different states. So that's part of the message that I want to get out there, is that don't feel like you have to look beyond your backyard to find a great, affordable private education. So if you're thinking about going to a private college, you can look right in your own state, in your own backyard, and find a place like Ripon that is extremely affordable, accessible, student-focused, great academics, extracurriculars, athletics, the whole 9 yards. You don't have to go out of state or to an expensive public institution in another state. Seems to be a trend right now.
Right.
And stay at home in your home state and get a great, high quality 4-year college education at a private college that is affordable.
It's really the best of both worlds when you're going to school within an hour or two from home.
Yes.
And I see that all the time at Ripon. You've got all the benefits of being on a campus, students and professors and staff that know you. But if you need to go home, if there's something that needs your attention, it's very accessible. So yeah, you're right. And my best advice, and you've probably said it 300 times through the years, go visit these great places throughout the Midwest and throughout the country. There are diamonds in the rough, just like Ripon College, and they'll create an amazing individualized experience.
Well, yeah, and both you and I attended colleges that are not household names. You're not going to see them on ESPN on a daily basis. And I assume it's true for you as it is for me, that experience really impacted my life and allowed me to really have the career that I have now. And that's part of the reasons why I do all of the social media and the podcasts and everything, to try and help more families understand that even though you may not heard of a particular college, doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's not as marketable, popular as an ESPN or a school that you see in your local sporting goods store. So give a chance to those colleges that may be not as much of a popular household name, you might be surprised with what you find.
I absolutely agree. You will be very pleasantly surprised at the experience and the outcomes. There's no doubt about it.
So, is there anything left that you would like us to know about Ripon? And then I have one final question after that before I sign off.
Left to know about Ripon. Come make a visit and see this town. I grew up in a small town in Northeast Tennessee. When I'm in downtown Ripon, right on the edge of campus, great restaurants, a fantastic brewery, a fantastic clothier, just one thing after another. And most of the town graduated from Ripon, or they have a student at Ripon, or their staff works at Ripon. And just that engagement, it's contagious. So that's my encouragement, would just be come visit, and we'll create an individualized visit. You'll get to talk with professors in your area of interest. You'll get to see the town for yourself, and we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I don't think there's a greater example of support local businesses than a place like Ripon, Wisconsin, where you are literally spending your dollars directly in the community that are impacted by those purchases. Students and faculty constantly say that they make connections with the restaurants and the coffee shop owners and the small boutique stores and things, and that adds to the experience of being at Ripon College. You're connected to the town almost as much as you are connected to the college itself.
There's actually area employers that were one of the big catalysts for our engineering major. We listened to them and what they wanted to see in their young employees, and what they felt they weren't getting from some of the larger engineering schools. And then that's become a great partnership. Not only is it a natural link for internships and career opportunities, but just that relationship of listening to to some of the largest employers in the area, taking that feedback, creating something unique, and then setting your students up for success. So, yeah, we're putting some good examples into that partnership.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, I want you to kind of take a step back. You're nearly 20 years working in the higher education world. We're talking to students, parents, and counselors across the country and around the world. What advice would you give to listeners who are navigating this college search and application process from a bigger perspective, as you've seen over your nearly 20 years in higher ed?
Yeah, great question, Chug. Thankfully, the FAFSA is a lot easier than it was when I first started in this work. I think the best advice I could give would be, don't limit yourself. Don't limit your list. Go through all the processes. Fill out the FAFSA as soon as you can. Visit the schools that are close, that you can easily travel to. Go through all the processes, and you'll know if a school is a good fit. And if a school is a good fit and it's just outside of your financial means, tell the college, I am really impressed with this place, and I want to be here. Can you help me make it happen? And we will. We'll find scholarships. We'll work hard on your behalf for grants, and it's a valuable experience for us, and your family will appreciate it too if the check is a little bit smaller each year.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, thank you for spending time with me today. It was wonderful hearing about all of the great things happening at Ripon College in Ripon, Wisconsin.
Thanks, Chuck. Keep up the great work. Looking forward to learning more and hearing more of your work, and I'll stay tuned as well.
Awesome. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. But fear not, we'll be back next week with more tips and tricks to help you conquer the college application process like a boss. Until then, remember, don't chuck it up.
Don't chuck it up.